very strong in lightweight rowing. A bit of illness has hit the crews though, through Toowong through the entire week. And so we saw a great race there just a moment ago in the under-23 Women's Youth Cock State. Now we've got the under-23 Men's Youth Cock State. And in lane 2 it is Sydney. In lane 3 Adelaide University Composite. In lane 4 Swan River. In lane 5 Sydney University. In lane 6 the Pine Rivers Composite. And in lane 7 Melbourne University.
And this is the key 8s race of the regatta. There is of course no open men's 8 category. We saw the 4s race earlier for the open men, but the under-23 men's 8 is the blue riband event, and certainly everyone is very excited about this race, and it's always a very, very strong race. And Sydney Uni took it out last year and they'll be looking for a repeat this year. Yes,
well, Sydney University actually won the heat here too by 4 seconds from Swan River, and they led from start to finish, Sydney University. Mark Prater is the coach, and they have a couple of rowers here in the New South Wales Youth 8, which will be competing, of course, in the Interstate Regatta tomorrow here at the Sydney International Regatta Centre as part of the Festival of Rowing. And what a day it's been here so far today. Sydney University in lane 5. In lane 6 it will be the Pine Rivers Composite, and in lane 7 Melbourne University. Near perfect conditions too. The winds held up nicely here. And in lane 6 Pine Rivers. A number of these rowers as well involved in the Youth 8. And in lane 7 it will be Melbourne University, coached by Michael Steele. Cox there, Tim Webster, getting ready for a start. And the under-23 Men's Youth Cock State, and they are rowing for the Federation of Old Oarsmen Trophy. So here we go. In the under-23 Men's Youth Cock State, at the top of the screen, in lane 2 Sydney, in lane 3 Adelaide University Composite, in lane 4 Swan River Composite, in lane 5 in the middle of the course Sydney University and the red hot favourites, and they're away. Sydney Uni off to a nice start, and alongside them in lane 6 the Pine Rivers Composite, and in lane 7 Melbourne University. In the centre of the course in lane 4 it is the Swan River Composite going out, and alongside them Sydney University. So both crews in the centre of the course going out strongly in lane 4 and in lane 5. In lane 3 it is the Adelaide University Composite. A number of those rowers as well involved in the South Australian Youth 8 at the Interstate Regatta on the weekend.
And a great shot of those bows surging there. You can see how important it is to keep those bows up out of the water, and that's the important role for bow 3 in that 8. So the first 3 to cross the line up in the bow there, a bow, 2 and 3 seat, and their job is very critical. It's about being clean, it's about being light. They're some of the more technically proficient and generally smaller athletes, and they want to keep that bow up out of the water, and you can see the Sydney Uni crew executing that perfectly at this stage as they stretch out to a canvas lead.
Well, this is exactly what they did in the Heat 2, Sydney University, and now they lead by a canvas from the rest of the field, and we can see just on the far side of the course in lane 3 it is the Adelaide University Composite, but Sydney University, who are the defending champions in this race, pushing it along nicely, and they've got their stroke rate up nicely, and they now lead by almost a half a boat length. In lane 3 it is Adelaide University. They're the challengers at this stage, and just on their left at the moment from Sydney University it is the Pine Rivers Composite from Queensland, and they're going along nicely as well through 500 metres. It is very much the crew in the centre of the course. Sydney University stroked by Hamish Playfair, and the cox is William Raven, and you can see him just bellowing out instructions, making sure that his crew maintains this very high stroke rate through the early stage of this race. But it is Sydney University, Adelaide University Composite currently in second place. A battle on for the minor placings, but well out in front at this stage, Sydney University in lane 5.
And you can see Will Raven, the coxswain there, he's yelling to his crew, but he's keeping them very measured at this point. He's being very careful with his words, and he's trying to get them to focus in on their boat and to block out their competition. At this point they want to be completely internally focused as they come into the second 500. It's critical here to establish a strong rhythm and to be really internal with what they're thinking about. It starts to hurt now as they're coming up to the 1,000, so it's important to block that out and just to focus on the technique, on the rhythm, rowing in perfect unison. You can see these boys are doing an excellent job of their technical outcomes here.
Yes, 3 members of this crew from Sydney University involved in the New South Wales Youth 8, which are going for back-to-back victories as well. A very good rowing system coming through at Sydney University with a lot of good young rowers, and if anything, they've extended their lead through 750 metres as they push it towards 1,000, and they lead by 3/4 of a boat length from the rest of the field as we move towards 1,000 metres, the halfway point of this race. It is Sydney University leading by almost a boat length from Adelaide University Composite in second place, and in third at the moment it is the Pine Rivers Composite combination in lane 6. A number of the Pine Rivers crew involved in the Youth 8 for Queensland as well, but it's very much Sydney University, and Hamish Playfair again pushing his crew forward. Jonathan Rundle. Also in this crew is Thomas Saker. His brother, of course, is involved on the weekend in the 8, the Australian 8 at the World Cup, but it is very much in the centre of the course, the Sydney University combination leading by a boat length. In second place it is Adelaide University, and look at this great combination from Sydney University, if anything pushing away from Adelaide on the inside of the course.
Yes, and Tom Saker's in there in 6 seat. He'll be doubling up in the Australian Men's 8 this weekend. He's doing a tremendous job in the 6 seat there, driving in the middle of the powerhouse. That's his job. He's leading the middle 4 rowers, who are the big powerful units in this boat, and they're going to be taking this crew to the line. They'll be backing up their stern pair, who are setting an amazing rhythm at the moment. They are just walking away from the rest of the field. Very, very impressive, and I think these boys, after such a dominating result last year, are looking to do the same thing. And look at them now pushing out to clear water as they reach the 600 to go. They're almost there, 1/4 of the race to go, and this is where they'll start to wind it home. They're not going to go easy. Even if they've got a lead here, there will be a fight back from the rest of the field, and they want to dominate this race.
Yes, very well coached too, this Sydney University crew. Mark Prater is the coach as they move through 1,500 metres, and it is very much Sydney University well out in front. They lead by almost a boat length from the rest of the crews across the course, and you can see it is almost clear water to second place at the moment. Adelaide University Composite in lane 3, and Sydney University, very powerful combination. You can just see there at the back of the Cox's head, and really they're just stroking nicely at the moment. Hamish Playfair and Jonathan Rundle alongside him in the 7 seat, and they lead by 1.5 boat lengths from the Adelaide University Composite crew in second place.
And Sydney Uni, such a dominant force in Australian rowing, contributing so many rowers to our Australian Olympic team last year, and you can see why. This is the calibre of their under-23 athletes, and these are the guys that go on to be representing Australia in Rio in 2020, and a truly incredible performance that they're laying down here. They've absolutely gone out to make their mark, and here they come to the line.
Yes, as they did in the heat, they led from start to finish, and they won by 4 seconds from Swan River. And they are continuing that domination of this race through the centre of the course. It is Sydney University very much in control of this race. 1.5 boat lengths to the crews in second and third position with about 30 metres to go. It is Sydney University out in front, and don't they look good as they push it towards the line now. Just a couple of strokes to go. Sydney University will win this race in comprehensive fashion, and they cross the line now in first place. Battle on for second and third, and in third place it will be, in second place, the Adelaide University Composite crew finish in second place, and in lane 4, the Swan River Composite will finish in third position. But very much Sydney University have won that race with a great result there for Sydney University in the lead up to the Youth 8 on the weekend, and don't they look happy? Great result for them, and they have won this title back to back now. Great result for Sydney University in lane 5. And we have a look again at the start, and if anything, Sydney University out a little slower than the crew in lane 4. That's the Swan River Composite, but Sydney University soon overtake them, and great discipline in that crew too, as we see it at the top of the screen. And the Cox there, William Raven, certainly animated through the back 500 especially, and don't they look powerful? That is Sydney University finishing in first place in a great result for the development of rowing at Sydney University and also New South Wales, to see so many good rowers in action in this boat. The Sydney University crew finish in first place. Have you had many?
No, this is the first for a while.
Yes, of course, you're sailing these days, aren't you? We can see some shots there of some of the rowers after they've finished their racing today. Just cooling down a little bit. It has been hot out here today, 31 degrees. And the rowing has been hot as well. in the lead up to the World Cup on Sunday. Interstate Regatta is on tomorrow. What a fantastic afternoon we've had. And we'll have a wrap-up immediately after the break, right here on Fox Sports. Regatta Centre for this festival of rowing in the lead up to the World Cup, the first ever staged in Australia on Sunday. And the presentations taking place. We've seen some fantastic rowing throughout the afternoon. And Sydney University just been presented with their medals, and that is from the under-23 men's Cox State. An emphatic victory there. Sydney University in lane 5 leading from start to finish, and they are receiving their gold medals.
Yes, Sydney University, they'll receive the Federation of Old Oarsmen Trophy.
Yeah, relatively good day, thank you.
The so-called home of rowing by many of its supporters.
John Boltby.
Namely John Boltby.
Sydney University, Adelaide Uni Composite and the Swan River Composite in third place. Under 23 men's 8 receiving their medals. And that was a terrific performance by Sydney Uni, and William Raven just receiving his medal, the Cox of the Sydney University under 23 men's youth 8. And Sydney University were the defending champions going into this race.